The silence in our bedroom was suffocating, pressing down on me like a lead weight. The only sound that broke through the oppressive stillness was the rhythmic creaking of the bed frame, a cruel metronome to my unraveling world. My stomach churned, a sickening mix of nausea and fury roiling inside me. My grip tightened around my phone, the hard plastic groaning under the pressure of my fingers. The live audio feed from the hidden speaker beneath the bedside table filled my ears, painting a vivid, gut-wrenching picture in my mind. She was moaning his name, a name that once held meaning, a name I had trusted. Gabriel, my best friend. This wasn't a sudden revelation, no lightning strike of suspicion. The signs had been there, piling up like a precarious Jenga tower, each like another wooden block teetering toward collapse. The late nights at the office, the hushed, abrupt phone calls, the unfamiliar scent of a new perfume she claimed was a gift from a colleague. Each excuse, each fabricated explanation, had been another nail in the coffin of my faith in her. In them, I had prayed desperately that I was wrong, that my gut was deceiving me. But instincts rarely lie. So I had placed the speaker, a tiny, inconspicuous witness to my slow destruction, tucked neatly beneath the bedside table. A silent sentinel to betrayal. Tonight, the tower finally fell. My thumb hovered over the call button. A single press, and I could end this. Storm in, let the rage consume me. Let the fire of my pain burn through everything in its path. But something colder, something sharper, held me back. A calculating part of me wanted more. Not just confrontation, but revelation. I wanted them to entangle themselves fully in their own web, to bask in their betrayal, oblivious to the storm waiting to strike. Between the sounds of their breaths, their whispers began. Giddy, lovesick declarations. Foolish, whispered promises of a future together. A future built on the ruins of my heart, on the ashes of my marriage. My fingers curled tighter around the phone, the plastic creaking again. We should tell him, she murmured, her voice thick with post-coital bliss. It's not fair to him. To us. Fairness. The word was a dagger to my chest. The sheer irony of it made me want to laugh, to scream. Fairness was a foreign concept to them. Only a concern now, in the aftermath of their deceit. Soon, Gabriel replied, his voice a low, satisfied rumble. Let's just enjoy this, just us, for a little while longer. That was my cue. I dialed his number. It rang twice. Then, sleep-heavy and unsuspecting, his voice answered. Hello, Gabriel, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. You might want to turn down the music. It's a little loud. Silence. A sharp inhale. Then chaos. The bed creaked violently, sheets rustling, whispers turning frantic. The audio feed became a cacophony of fear and confusion. John. Amelia's voice was a choked whisper. How? I cut her off, my voice a cold blade. I think why is the more pertinent question, wouldn't you agree, Amelia? I ended the call, letting the sound of their panic linger in my ears. I gave them a few moments. Enough time for the reality to sink in. Enough time for fear to fester. Then, with measured steps, I walked into the room. The scene was exactly as I had envisioned it. Amelia, curled beneath the covers, her eyes wide, glistening with terror. Gabriel, naked and vulnerable, clutching a pillow to his front, a pathetic, futile shield. His face was a wretched mask of shame and fear. He had betrayed me in the worst possible way. And now he was staring into the consequences. John, Amelia began, voice trembling. I raised a hand, silencing her. Don't. Just don't. My voice was quiet, but the fury beneath it was unmistakable. I turned to Gabriel. Get dressed. The command was steel, cold, and sharp. We need to talk. The drive to my secluded lake house was thick with silence. A different kind now. A charged, suffocating quiet filled with unspoken dread. Amelia sat huddled in the back seat, her eyes flicking to me in the rearview mirror, pleading. I ignored her. My focus was on Gabriel, the man who had once been like a brother to me, now nothing more than a trembling, guilt-ridden shadow of himself. The lake house was meant to be a haven, a place where I had imagined laughter, love, future family weekends by the water. Now it would serve a different purpose. Inside, the only sound was the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. I gestured toward the chairs facing the fireplace. Sit. They obeyed, their movement stiff. Hesitant, I paced before them, letting the silence stretch, pressing down on them, forcing them to feel its weight. When I finally spoke, my voice echoed in the empty room. So, I began. Let's talk about loyalty. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about the knife you both plunged into my back. What followed was brutal. A raw, unfiltered reckoning. I laid everything bare. Their lies, their deceit, their selfish, whispered promises. I watched as Gabriel withered beneath my stare, shame sinking into his skin. Amelia sobbed, body trembling with each choked breath. Then came the final blow. The detailed recounting of their affair. Every stolen moment they had believed was theirs alone. Every secret conversation. Every foolish fantasy of a life together. The hidden speaker had preserved it all, and now I painted their sins back to them in vivid, damning detail. Piece by agonizing piece, their world crumbled. How could you? I finally asked Amelia, my voice thick with something I refused to call grief. How could you do this? To me? To us? She had no answer. No words. Only silence. I turned to Gabriel. And you? The disgust in my voice was unmistakable. You called yourself my friend. You were supposed to be my brother. His eyes met mine, desperate. Pleading. But there was no forgiveness left in me. Only emptiness. I left them there. Let them sit in the wreckage of their choices. Their betrayal. Their disgrace. I didn't care what they did next. What mattered now was me. My future. A future without them. As I drove away, a strange calm settled over me. The pain, the anger, the betrayal, it was still there, simmering. But now it was muted. Distant. A chapter had closed. The road ahead was uncertain, but I was ready to face it. Alone. But free. And for the first time in a long while, the silence was peaceful.